I'm glad you said that music is the industry entity that lives, because now we're going to talk some real stuff, all right? Let's get into the entity itself. Let's define Texas. Because Texas is a land all on its own. In the history of America, Texas was a country. And Texas was the beginning of Mexico and South America. So Texas was also always a melting pot. And then the French came over, and then that's how we get Mardi Gras and all that other stuff, and crawfish, Louisiana, da-da-da-da, right? America buys Texas. Texas becomes a major landmass because Texas was full of valuables. You know what I'm saying? Speed it up. We go to the heart of music. Country music, hip-hop music, R&B music, funk, blues, speakeasies.
Bobby Blue Bland.
Yeah, I mean, it was the heart. Texas, it was the heart of the American soul before Motown got the funk soul part of the country. Texas was its own entity because even if you like sports, Texas had its own football conference. SMU, Texas A&M.
They know.
You know what I'm saying?
They known for football.
Oh yeah.
They know.
Yeah, look.
Football.
Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. You know what I'm saying?
They live by that shit. I'm telling you, they live by it.
But then Texas also was the home of the black man's pain.
Yes, sir.
Because when that music came out of the wards, the towns, the cities, the culture, people learned what losing love was. People learned what soulful gospel music was. Like the Wailers came. That sound came from Texas. And then even out of that, hip-hop grew out of that. Whether you talk Rap-A-Lot, Suave House, whatever. You had people who could play the bass. And then people who would get on the drums. And people who would play the sax. And instrumentation became the key of defining what the Texas sound is. Am I correct?
You're correct on that.
Tell me, what makes Texas still the home of the pain and the come up of the hip hop artists?
Well, it's more not just the hip hop. Well, it depends where you at. Where we from, Tarrant County, it's systematic because, like I talked to you before about this, you know, Tarrant County, Fort Worth, Texas, lead the nation in police killing of a black man. They, what was the number, like 10 within the last 6 months, and it's been 2 more since then. So, you know, the pain is there because of the system.
People, you know what I'm saying?
And the system ain't changing, and black people thinking that eventually it's gonna change, but change gotta be done by what you do, not by what you say. Bottom line, you know.
I would say this though. Nina Simone said the representation of a people and the responsibility of the artist is to talk about the times that you live in to capture the art in historical context. Right? What you just said was heavy because social change has been in the forefront of America since America became America. As an artist, what do you want to capture in your music to show people where you're from, what you fight, and what you want to overcome or have them overcome in their lives?
Well, as an artist, my gift to the world is to try to open the mind where your mind never been open before. You know, some people accept things just because they think that they're getting a little, but if you really understand that the person that's giving you a little is still taking a lot. And if you accept all the things that people give you, then you put yourself in a systematic change expecting what a person gonna give you. If you put in your mind to go out and get what you want and earn what you want and put your mind frame to what you do, then you can elevate yourself. And when you elevate yourself, you can elevate the people around you. But as long as you keep your mind frame stuck depending or relying on a system to basically pacify you, you're gonna keep repeating the same thing over again. But as like I say, I want to give the world knowledge of the situation. I could sit up and talk about cars, I could sit up and talk about jewelry, but at the end of the day, is that gonna make me a better person? That's not gonna make me a better person. Materialistic things do not make you into who you are. What's within you is what makes you who you are. And if that's all you is by material, then you're very little and you're very shallow. So I focus on trying to talk and spit knowledgeable stuff. You know, if you waste your time on stupid shit, then you're gonna be stuck in stupid shit.
But at the same time, though, also you got to think of, and what he's saying is 100% true. But then you have to also look at it as it being sometimes a therapeutic situation. You know what I'm saying? And so far as sometimes you have to let it all go back. In other words, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes you might have to, you know what I'm saying, take your frustration out on that, pen and pad, and you know what I'm saying, and be like, hey, kind of just like going into a closet and just yelling real loud, you know what I'm saying, type
a
situation.
true artist writes emotions.
You're going into that booth and you know what I'm saying, it's therapeutic, and so you letting it go, you know what I'm saying, everything like that. But then you also learning, as far as the second part of your question is you learning how to use that energy in another way, because you can use that same energy, you can hit the block, and you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, you get too emotional, you know what I'm saying, like he's saying, and go out there and fuck your life up, you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying, if you learn how to control the emotions, and sometimes you might have to, it might take you having to get in that booth, you know what I'm saying, get in that booth and let it go. Then you know what I'm saying, it's learning, not only you getting that release, it's also you learning how to deal with life and elevate yourself to, you know what I'm saying, to where you can maneuver and not do some crazy shit on the block and fuck your life away, you know what I'm saying. So
So then, how has hip hop elevated you and saved you?
Well, I would say that the early days of hip hop informed me, gave me awareness. This day, hip hop, it have certain artists that's still on that level. Now, like I was talking earlier to somebody about this situation, a lot of the music today I feel is what you call dummy music. And by what I mean by that is it's deliberately done to be put in face to make the other music meaningless. You know, and that's an agenda. You know, and by having that agenda, it helped make the other industry genres more stronger when the hip hop or the rap industry is not at its best. So it gives no ability. And then like I was talking to Blue about Post Malone. Okay, he won Best Rap Album of the Year, but my opinion, he's not rap, he's pop. So that's just another incident that the industry just put something in our face to say, okay, we can do this if we want to.
That's very, very, very interesting. And the reason why I say that is because if you remember in the 90s, this was the message that hip hop was going to turn into for all along. Real hip hop was going to go underground. You got to go find it, because when the machine takes over, you're going to lose the culture. I remember for PlayStation 2, Mark Echo had a game, Get Up. And it was about how a young man in the game's father was a freedom fighter, and he was graffiti to town teach people. And all graffiti artists were being thrown in jail because they were the holders of the information. Today's hip hop, I agree with you. The mainstream gives us who they elect as their best.
Yes.
And real hip hop, whatever you define real as, seems to be so hidden.
Authentic hip hop, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To say real, you know what I'm saying? It's organic, you know what I'm saying? Real hip hop. That's, you know what I'm saying, like, you know.
Okay, but that's
not the status quo of what's supposed to be hip hop now.
Oh, well, see, that's the great debate. What is real hip hop, especially when everything evolves? Because I had this conversation with two people 2 or 3 days ago. I said, the hip hop y'all listen to now, I can't get with, because I'm not into the tight pants music. That just doesn't turn me on. I can't get into it.
Gentrified.
And not only that, when I believe R&B music is trash, personally. And the reason why is because I don't think there's real R&B anymore, except for when the women are doing R&B. But today's quote-unquote rappers do more singing than rapping.
Exactly.
So that's more R&B to me. That's not hip-hop.
Yeah.
When we look at the crossing of the genres, how do you make sure you stay fresh and define your lane rather than trying to be trendy and do what people think they want to hear?
Well, me, in all fashion, my music I consider is unique. And because of my hip-hop culture and understanding of the hip-hop, I feel that anytime you do a song, it should have something, an essence to it. A lot of this music today ain't got no essence. It's just, I'm going to say what I'm going to say and do what I'm going to do. It's a moment of feeling good, you know. But at the bottom line, this is what this industry is. But the true hip-hop is going to always stand. Even though if it became against the law to listen to hip-hop, we will find a way to do it anyway. Because it's something that's a part of us. It's a community thing. You know, back in the days when it originated, when you heard something, you got a message. NWA said, fuck the police. Everybody else wanted to say that. And once they said that, everybody else started saying it. Because it's a community
And that's the thing about it, like hip-hop right now then got so, like the word hip-hop then got so saturated to where how I would define real hip-hop is you can't define it. It's a feeling. You know what I'm saying? And if you really know that feeling, then I mean, it ain't nothing you can explain. It's just something that you feel. You know what I'm saying? The word hip hop then became so much. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like
hip hop should be a genre.
You can't. You can't.
It's like mama rap should be considered as mama rap, not hip hop, not rap. Or conscious rap should be considered as conscious rap. It should be genreified, if anything. It would help make the music more flowable.
But hasn't it always been? Because you always heard about mainstream, underground, backpack, and what was it? West Coast, South. Then the West Coast is defined as the horns.
But that's when it was still. That's when it was really still hip hop though.
Okay.
Now it's not really. And like I say, the word.
Like you say, it's more singing.
Now it's more
auto-tune, you know, all that.
this other shit. You know,
it's no essence in it. It's just.
Then you know what I'm saying. You can put it all in a hip hop umbrella now, and it became so commercialized and manufactured and this and that and you know what I'm saying, cut up and you know what I'm saying, stepped on and all this.
And a lot of it is not original.
It's not. It ain't. You can't really just say it's really. You can't really define hip hop no more. You know
everybody sound like everybody. A lot of songs I listen to today, it sound like the same song. You know, and I love music. It came a point where it made me really start not really liking hip hop like I did at one time, because I can't get G with it. Bottom line, you know, bottom line, because you know you can talk about how much cars you got, how much gold for so long, but a lot of the artists that's talking like that ain't got that.
See, now it's good. It's still good music out there. It's still good.
You just have to search for it.
Still good songs. You know what I'm saying, and everything like that. But you can't just say. I mean, you gotta. It's like, you know what I'm saying. You can't just say, okay, you know what I'm saying, this is what
Let me put this song on.
This is what it is, you know what I'm saying, blah,
It's
blah, blah.
hip-hop.
It's like you gotta motherfucking, you gotta fish and shit, you know what I'm saying, to really find the real, you know what I'm saying, what's the authentic, organic type shit, you know what I'm saying?
And it should have bars behind it. If it just a noise and making sound effects and screaming to pull you in, then it's not hip hop.
It's a gimmick, you know what I'm saying? It's a gimmick. You know what I'm talking about? It's a gimmick.